This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 215.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching every movie on the top 250 movies of all time list according to IMDb. This week, we are watching number 235, which is the 2008 movie Ip Man, directed by Wilson Yip. The synopsis of this movie is, during the Japanese invasion of 1937, when a wealthy martial artist is forced to leave his home and work to support his family, he reluctantly agrees to train others in the art of Wing Chun for self-defense. I am one of your hosts, Denny, and joining me are...
John.
And TC.
And TC, with the extra noise, gets to go first this week. What did you think of this movie, TC?
Well, I mean, this is the movie about the master of Bruce Lee, right?
Right.
So, pretty cool, I think, just because I wouldn't have even thought about that. I kind of, in my modern time, Bruce Lee is old as hell.
He made it up all himself.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think twice about who his master, quote unquote, was. So, I love this movie. I think it's fun to watch because the choreography for the fighting is awesome. The, camera work is decent. The production design's a little bit cheesy at times, but it's okay because it's like a, kung fu movie, and I don't think it really needs to be perfect, but it gets its point across. I like the storyline of the guy who's just trying to live his life and be with his family, but of course,
problems.
Bad shit always happens, right?
Yeah.
So, and he's like the only dude that can just kick everybody's ass in the entire area. Like, I mean, it seems like he might have been like the best ever, right? That's what they make it out to seem like.
Yeah, they certainly do.
I had never heard about anything before about Wing Chun before this, so prompted me to learn something, which is, I guess, a good thing.
Yeah. Learning is good. Do you feel like you learned from the movie these things, or
no? Okay. No, not so much. I looked into it later, but because I mean,
at least got you interested, right?
Yeah, it got me interested, and I mean, they didn't really. It wasn't a movie you're supposed to watch in school or something, right? I mean,
yeah,
they weren't trying to teach us stuff. They were just trying to get that story across of a guy who gets screwed and then comes back and just destroys everybody, including the Japanese general or whatever he is, right?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it a lot. It's the second or third time I think I've seen it. So,
wow.
I didn't mind watching it at all again.
Sweet.
So, that's me. What do you guys got?
John, have you seen this before?
I saw it once before, but I kind of forgot it.
And what did you think about it this time?
Let's see. Do we want? How do we want the? Well,
I'm going negative, John. So it sounds like
are you going negative?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know, so I might be going negative too.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I agree with everything TC said, though. I think that the action sequences are pretty cool. I thought that at times, sometimes I felt like what they were doing was working with the speeded up camera. And sometimes that annoyed me a bit. So like the fight sequences were artificially accelerated by using, I don't know how they do it, but they like film at like a slower speed, I guess. And then that just speeds everything up or something like that. Or it's just that the film itself is just sped up, I guess. But the sequences were pretty choreographed really well. I especially did like the fight with the general at the end. And there are a couple of sequences where he's like about to go over the edge. And there's one in particular like sequence where like he's getting kicked back and he almost goes over the edge of the ring. IP Man does. And he's leaning back and then he
just
flings himself forward. Ip Man. Shit.
With Geoffrey. They were hanging out outside of the,
he's intellectual property guy.
Intellectual property man. Hello.
Yeah, he's more of like a network address.
I think before I when I just saw it and just sort of was browsing on Netflix, I thought it was IP Man because I didn't know. I never heard anybody say
that sounds
it. So
boring.
Well, what's even more stupid is it's Yip Man.
Yeah, right.
The real one.
It's Yip, right?
But is Yip pronounced Ip? I don't know how to pronounce Chinese words.
I have no idea. The original title,
question,
I guess, is Yip, so I don't know.
Because it seems like from everything, it's like Yip Man, also known as Ip Man. Why? Why does he have two names that are, similar but different? I don't know. But
well, it definitely didn't say IP Man.
No, nobody said IP Man
John,
until me.
Were you talking about the scene where he loops his foot around the back of the guy's knee?
Yeah, well, where he's fighting the general, though, right?
Yeah, it's like the last one.
I think that was like that was some of the best choreography, and that was really exciting to watch. I think the other ones, it didn't seem as exciting for me because I pretty much, and part of it is too, I seen it before, so I pretty much knew he was just going to kick everybody's ass. So there was not like a whole lot of tension in the fight sequences.
Yeah.
But I think to contrast this film with what we saw last week,
I think, so let's, I have a lot of that. So I would say, so just generally,
you want to go ahead and give your more general impression stuff before we talk about that kind of contrast?
No, let's get Denny's out too.
All right.
Okay.
Anything, you go ahead.
Let's get all the negativity flowing.
So first of all, I thought I had seen this movie before, and I had seen a part of it, but I remember shutting it off while I was watching it this time. I was like, I shut it off right here because I feel the same way I did the first time I watched this, which was like really bored by the movie. And it kind of bothers me too, and we can get into this later with the Imitation Game and The Help and like what's real and what's not and stuff. But a lot of the stuff in here, plot wise, is fake, even though it's supposed to be a biopic, which kind of bothers me a little bit. But
hey, it's based on a true story. Come on.
I know, yeah. Well, we can talk about the differences between this and the Imitation Game. But more than anything, I think it's like the fight scenes are obviously awesome. Like the sound effects during the fight scenes and then the choreography and all that stuff. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the wire work thing they do a lot in Chinese movies, which happens in this, not to like the fantasy extent, but they still, use the wires to make people go flying a ridiculous distance across the room. But the scenes in between the fight scenes, I didn't care about any of the characters. I actually disliked most of the characters. I thought the acting was really bad.
You didn't like Donnie Yen even?
No, I especially disliked him.
Oh, I kind of liked his style. I kind of liked how he was... I don't know. He was just sort of like seemed like so like kind of put together and reserved. I
was shocked that he got like awards and stuff for this movie.
Yeah.
And that really blows my mind because he seems like he's not doing anything. Like he's really good at martial arts, or at least he's good at faking it. I can't really tell. He can at least move his hands really quickly. But his whole blank face style of acting, I don't know. It seems like he's not doing anything.
I thought it was pretty, and it was a good contrast, like when he lost it during the prison battle, where he's like, he gets all mad and wants to fight the 10 guys at once because he's so pissed off. I thought he did a good show of emotion there.
The movie didn't get me with any of that stuff. Don't know why.
Now, what are your normal thoughts on like kung fu movies?
Not
like, how do you
super
rate
high.
Enter the Dragon.
Acting,
like, have you seen Enter the Dragon?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I have seen Crouching Tiger. Yes, I have seen that one.
He might have a problem with a lot of these types of movies then.
Yeah, it might be just the genre of movie.
Well, there's a ton of wire work in Crouching Tiger.
Well, not even the wire work, but there's a ton of that kind of like still face. That's like a normal
stoic
thing.
Right?
Yeah, that's like part of their state. They main calm. And
is that like a kung fu movie type of style, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. As far as I remember.
I might just not be a fan of that.
It's to show that you're in control.
I did sort of feel like it was like the relationship stuff was a little weird and
bad.
For sure.
It was bad.
For sure.
Like the wife being all pissy because he's fighting,
and then they get poor.
That she was pissy,
and then she's happy when they're poor.
Right.
What?
Yeah, so I don't know. That stuff seemed a little. I don't know. It just seemed. I guess.
I thought she was pretty bad too as an actress.
Yeah.
And I wrote down a couple times where I was like, she's doing a very bad job in this scene. And then I watched like a making of thing afterwards. This was her first movie she'd ever been in. So that kind of makes sense.
So maybe you have a good eye because I don't think I noticed their acting skills whatsoever. I thought the guy
who was his like the businessman guy was good. I
didn't like him either.
Oh wow, I thought he was good too.
Dude, I didn't like Donnie Yen. I didn't like the business. The one guy I did like was the bandit guy, the main bandit guy.
Don't say Jin.
Is that Jin? Yeah.
He's the one I dislike the most.
Why? Because he was an ass?
Because he does wait, like his movements are weird whenever he responds to stuff. They're like way over the top.
That's what, I guess I don't know. I liked the way his clothes like flew around him. He kind of seemed like
you liked his style.
I did. I did very much.
I like how he got beat with a feather duster.
That feather duster was made out of bamboo though. That thing would have stung your butt.
Was awesome. That shit was awesome. He's like, you don't even need a knife. And if I did, I would have sliced you like 8 times by now.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. I certainly, I don't think you even felt this, TC, that there was much emotional weight, I guess.
No, any of it. It's a kung fu movie.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I thought...
But they tried to, it seemed.
Well, I thought they were... The way the movie...
Well, it's cheesy the way they do it. It's on purpose. That's kung fu.
The way the movie was sequenced, if you didn't know Ip Man's actual history, I was certain, and I was even still certain, even though I'd seen the damn movie before, that he was going to die at the end.
Yeah. Well, then you realize it's a trilogy, so he can't die.
Well, I don't. Yeah, it was son or whatever.
It's only the first one.
I mean, everything was building to that he dies, that he's a martyr.
Why did you think that? Just because he is dead now?
No, because everything had so much weight. Like it was this all the sort of like dramatic like build up to this big fight at the end.
Yeah.
The way the movie felt like it was going to be was that he would die and then the people would revolt. And that would like lead to some sort of victory in the village or something like that.
Like a Braveheart kind of situation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it felt like it was going to. So I remember, and I didn't remember it after seeing it the first time, but I also remembered after I saw it the second time feeling the same way. The first time was like, what, he lives? What?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I hated about this movie, though, is that they used the epilogue to tell us he lived.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
They use what do you call them? Title cards way too much to progress the plot. It's like show me how he got kicked out.
Too. They fade to black.
Quite
a bit in that, and it's like you don't need to always go to black to get to the next part.
Yeah,
but I guess they did. So,
what did you guys think about? So, what did you watch it subtitled or dubbed?
Dubbed.
Subtitled.
No, subtitled.
Subtitled in what language?
What do you mean? I mean, it was English, so it was subtitled. What's the point otherwise?
Sorry,
what language was?
I watched it in Spanish.
Sorry.
No, I know what you're saying. What language were they speaking?
Yes,
and that was still dubbed. I assumed it was Chinese, but I had no idea.
Yeah, me too.
I was very confused because there are Chinese and Japanese people in this, and they so my Blu-ray defaulted to English, and holy crap, the English dubbing was terrible, laughable. Dude,
horrible?
Ip Man's voice, plug your nose and talk, and that's what Ip Man sounds like.
That's also the kung fu movie, right?
Terrible.
You have this stereotype like mouth moving and no words coming out, or like one or two words.
So even with so then I switched to the subtitle, and I switched back and forth between, it was Cantonese and Mandarin, I think, between those two, and I couldn't find one of the tracks that like they're all ADR. This entire movie was ADR.
Yeah, it's all ADR.
And it's again
terrible. Kung fu. That's what they always do.
Oh God, I hate ADR.
I don't know. It was just on Netflix, and I don't know what it was defaulting to there. But I didn't notice like terrible lip syncing.
Really?
I mean, I noticed that it was ADR because none of it sounds like it's in the scene. But
there's that.
I think every kung fu movie I watch, that's how it is. It's how they do all of them.
Why? It's 2008 when they did this. Come on.
That's not a thing, though. It's a stylistic choice, I think. It's what they do.
Yeah, I guess all the stuff that kung fu movies are, I'm not a fan of, except for the fighting.
Yeah,
and you got to think too when they're filming some of those scenes with dialogue that are like fights and movement. They've got wires and machines and things moving around, and everybody making noise. Like dialogue capture would be hard as hell, I bet.
No one talks during the fight scenes. And then everything in between.
No, but it's
is
pretty
just
fluid as they shoot it, right? So they're just shooting. They're not gonna. I'm sure they save a bunch of time by just being like, "We're gonna ADR all this." So say your lines and like, let's keep on moving.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. That's probably true, but I don't like it.
I know. I can tell.
Me gusta.
Yeah, I can tell.
The Japanese general character was awful. Like, seemed like some terrible, like parody, almost racist seeming.
Yeah, and that guy didn't exist. I mean, should we go through what didn't happen in real life?
Well, wait. We can just do this in some broad strokes.
Okay, sure.
Because I think, I mean, just again, this is like, so like the Imitation Game, which we all watched last week. They told a lot more of the truth of what happened in a sense, but then when they made choices, they made choices for the sake of drama that made the main character actually look like a worse person than he was. In this movie, all the choices are made to make this guy look more important and better than he was. But the point is that other than that, he existed and that he practiced the style of kung fu and was good at it and may have trained Bruce Lee. Some argue that it was his disciples that did it and he took credit. That's about it.
So I think to sum up the differences, I mean, kind of similar but opposite in terms of Imitation Game. Imitation Game tells pretty close to a true story plot-wise, but then changes the character. And from what I've told, like from what I've read, this tries in the way he acts tries to encapsulate how Ip Man actually was, but then changes the plot completely.
Good. That's a really nice point, Denny. That's really cool. That's much better than I was saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're getting at the same thing.
Yeah, but I really like what you said. It is an interesting contrast because apparently, like the actor studied Ip Man or studied his Ip Man's children were on the scene or whatever. Yeah. So they actually tried to pay a lot of attention to how he was.
Right. And they wanted, so like the main part of, from listening to the director talk about it, he said the two things he wanted to do, number one was entertain, which arguable, depends on who you are,
debatable.
I mean, that's an opinion thing, but they did it. It's on the top 250, so a lot of people liked it. And the other one was to put forward a positive message for like the Chinese culture. Which it might have done. I might have bought into that.
It feels a little. And again, there's American movies that do this too. It feels like propaganda. It feels like propaganda too. Like one Chinese man.
See, I think maybe I just approached this movie less like I wasn't looking for any of that. This is a kung fu movie. It's supposed to be about the fights and the stupid
so
shit.
It doesn't, none of it matters, right? It might as well be
like,
Batman or whatever.
Like you guys, I mean, Denny seems like you were looking for it to be more realistic towards the history, and I didn't even think about that.
It's strange when you put it in historical events. It's always you're always walking a weird line when you're doing that, unless you can go totally fantastical like Inglourious Bastards does, and that works.
But that way that it's not real, But this one, you go in and you're like,
do you though?
Babe. Yeah.
Okay, so like if you're the Asian guy though, if you're the Chinese guy that doesn't know anything about America and you see Inglourious Bastards, what do you think?
I think most people know how Hitler died, I would think. And it wasn't being shot.
You would think.
I think so.
But is it really? I mean,
a lot of everyone was involved with World War II.
Controls your information.
Wait, so that I think, but TC does make sort of a point where, everybody knows, maybe, I don't know. Maybe everybody knew who Ip Man was in China, and so this is more like they can then the story can play however you want it to, and it doesn't matter. They know his life story already. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting point. So that they were just taking this story and representing the man, but then just having a great old time with him. Like maybe you take like some famous character or person that we know really well. Like, I don't know, it's Samuel Adams in Adventureland goes back in time or whatever. I don't know. So it's like possible, it's a character we know, and you're just like having some fun with it, right? I guess. But it did feel very like patriotic as well in kind of a ham-fisted way. But that I mean, if
there were small choices, then it would be acceptable. But I mean, they have Ip Man training a whole army of people, teaching them kung fu during the Japanese invasion, and that didn't happen. Like that didn't even come close to happening.
Right. Well, the fights with the generals didn't happen.
Does it have to? I mean, it's a made up story. The only thing that's not made up is the timeline. It's the rest of it is fucking.
He never lost his house. He never was poor. I mean, none of these things. These things
factual. Don't matter.
Right. Yeah, and it may not matter. It's just knowing. It's not clear from the movie how unfactual it is because of the way it's presented. It's presented in all seriousness, right?
Well, that's why I think if it wasn't a kung fu movie, then you might expect it to be more serious.
Right,
but it's a kung fu movie. Like the point of it is the action.
So if you're watching a kung fu movie, it's like the same as if you're watching a superhero movie or something like that. You're not going to take this. Like you can have Captain America doing in World War II.
Yeah, Captain America didn't exist in World War II.
Right. So you're not going to. Yeah, but you're not going to take that seriously, whatever it is. You're not to get all bitchy because it wasn't historically accurate or whatever, right?
Yeah, but those people don't exist.
Right. I know. Well, no, but I'm just saying it's also a style of movie, and I'm just. But it's like
even reading the synopsis of the movie, all of this, what I read in the beginning, none of that is true. Like even the synopsis of this movie never happened in reality, and it's about a person who existed.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Yep. I know. I mean, it didn't bother me. I always wondered too. I also wondered like the whole like, oh, people in Foshan, there was 300,000 and it went down to 70,000. Like they made that shit up.
Did they?
Probably.
See, I bought that.
It didn't even like. I watched it. I'm like, that is no way.
I was like, numbers. You got to believe numbers, right? You can't just make up numbers. I don't know.
See, in a kung fu movie, I approach it as I don't believe any of this shit.
Yeah,
Kung Fu
it's probably
movie.
a good way to do it. I could have used that piece of
Yeah.
advice last week.
Yeah.
Me sitting here like
You're not
checking
supposed to take any of
Wikipedia.
this seriously. That's why it's kind of cheesy at points. Like the production design's kind of cheesy. Like it's kind of meant for. They're not trying to be spot on. They're just trying to set the timeline, and then everybody fights.
A lot of punches. A lot of
It's a
punches
simple.
happen.
Yeah, it's a very simple thing. It's not like a nonfiction movie. It's very action based only.
Yeah,
I think.
I guess I agree with you, and that's great that you can think that. In my opinion of the biopics, though, if you're going to bring someone's real name into it, you have to make an attempt to try to tell a story that
I
wouldn't
see.
be completely false all the way
Right.
through.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
That's fair.
otherwise, just make a freaking another kung fu movie.
Just make a fiction
Right,
movie.
and
Yeah.
you can then say that character. You could it could be you'd have a lot more fun with it. You could say, all right, well, we're going to take this character and we're going to have that character be inspired by Yip Man, but then he's going to go have fantastical adventures. We don't need to give it this sort of like fake realistic weight of World War II and all that. So yeah, it's
I'd kind of be hard pressed now to want. I'd want to see what people think about it from where he's from. Now I want to know. Like,
I agree.
what
I think
now
that's
that
interesting.
you're gotten me going down this line, I'm like, well, shit. Is it? Am I the only one that's like, I don't give a fuck. It's kung fu. It's not supposed to be cool.
No,
You're
dude,
not supposed to be serious.
I think the majority of
Like, am I
people are
not-
on your side.
Oh, okay.
Seeing as this
Like, but
movie,
is that bad though? Is that something that I should be worried about in the long run? Because it's like you're not picking up on things that you should because
no, I
you
think it just might be
assumed it's
just the way I'm approaching these movies now, like with some of the more recent ones. I mean, we've had a lot of supposed to be historically accurate movies in a row, and
right.
I just
so now
grouped
that
this
you've done
one
them.
in.
Oh yeah. So you're kind of like in that zone.
Yeah.
Of like, well, I mean, hey, but it's in that genre, so why should you not approach it that way?
Right.
Is what you're saying.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
I get it.
don't know. I don't watch kung fu
No, I
movies.
don't think
it's
you're wrong.
also like again, it's hard. It's again when we watch. It's a point to try to see like to see what it would be from the perspective of other cultures, like where we see Raiders of the Lost Ark and he's fighting Nazis or whatever, and we just consider it enjoyment. We don't care about the history of it so much, right?
Right.
And I think like the Japanese invasion, there was a lot of atrocities committed by the Japanese. And so they could arguably be seen as sort of Nazis to the Chinese people at the time. So it's kind of like they're these sort of almost comic book type villains, not comical, to where it plays that kind of role for them too.
a good point.
So
But then again, it would make more sense if he wasn't based. Like if Indiana Jones was based on a real guy, that movie would be confusing as hell.
right, I know.
Right,
That's where
right.
it sort of gets confusing, right? If they were to say based on a true story, but, and there was a real Dr. Jones, then you might.
So here's a question, Denny. Were you able to find any Asian websites that had an alternate opinion on it? Did you go that far?
No, I try not.
I'm
I try
kinda
not to look at
curious.
reviews because I don't want to agree with someone so much and just regurgitate their information, which I would probably do.
Well, okay, then I guess it could be a good follow up for after.
Yeah.
But I'll look that up. See what like the people think that are from that area.
This movie won Best Picture. I forget what award. I can look it up in a minute. But it won Best Picture in some award ceremony, and Donnie Yen won Best Actor. I mean,
And that's in their home?
yes, in China.
Oh, wow.
So very highly
They
regarded.
don't like you, Denny.
No. No, this movie is like, it has like 200,000 votes, which is a lot for a foreign movie on IMDb.
Hmm.
And it's in the top 250. So, I mean, there are a shit ton of people that really like this movie.
I wonder culturally if they approach biopics differently as well. Like maybe they're not that as concerned about the real truth. They kind of like the...
Yeah, maybe they're not as lazy as Americans and they expect you to read about it in a history book and not
like
get the
they already
history.
know all the history. So they're like, oh, this is a great movie. And it's a lot of fighting.
They could arguably be less informed too.
Or they could be less informed,
yeah.
right? And then they don't even care.
I mean, in this
true.
movie, this is, and again, there are American movies like this, but in this movie, there's this one. He says that line, "I am but one Chinese man. What can I do?" So it's like, here's what one Chinese man can do, and then there's more just sort of things that are thrown out there, like China won World War II, and
Along with the Allied forces,
along with the Allied powers,
Yeah.
but so it's it just probably plays well with the home crowd, just like a lot of American movies would play well, not necessarily with us, but with maybe a lot of people in the country in terms of it's a movie that makes you feel good to be an American. So maybe this is a movie that makes you feel good to be a Chinese person.
And do you
or
think
to be
we
in
would get
China.
more offended by this movie if we knew more of a history and then what the movie was showing in terms of the Japanese invasion was just forced fistfights and then one murdered person because of a bag of rice?
Yeah.
You know, that seems
probably,
it seems like it could be pretty insensitive.
Right, meaning just saying that. Well, you know, they did, they did like describe.
They had
atrocity.
one cutaway where one random guy was getting shot in the street, and I was like, "What the hell is this? This has nothing to do with."
Right, but then they also they threw those numbers up on the screen, which were frightening, even if they are just made up, you know, in terms of the reduction of the actual population of the town.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's strange. But again, like I think TC's point about it's hard to know how a different culture views it is kind of
that's definitely true.
But it doesn't mean you're wrong. It just
just means we're uninformed.
Good point. I am 100% sure that I am uninformed. So
I am as
well. Yeah, it's interesting. I think I'm not as annoyed with this one in that at least what they did was and historical inaccuracies aside, they tried to be true to a character and also not make decisions for at the expense of that character for entertainment. They just made this guy to be out more than he was, which in comparison, and again, I don't feel as personally about it, say like as I did with the Imitation Game, where this was a guy that I knew about and had a lot of respect for, and they made decisions for the sake of drama that made him look like less impressive than he was.
Right.
So in this case, like all decisions were made to make Ip Man seem like the most badass guy ever. So, it's maybe I'm not as annoyed with that. But then there's all the historical things where they just it's a totally made up story, except that, the war did happen.
Yeah.
And there was a Japanese invasion.
Broad strokes.
Now, the other two aren't on the list, are they?
No.
'Cause they kind of suck. Okay, thank God.
No.
And there's a fourth one
bad,
too that it's not a numbered title. And then they made another Ip Man movie called The Grandmaster. It came out in 2013, and there was
that
actually
one
like a
sucked, too.
feud between the filmmakers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they had to change. Didn't they have to change the title of this
No,
one?
the other one had to get changed because they were going to call the other one The Grandmaster Ip Man or whatever, but they just changed it to The Grandmaster because this one came out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I saw The Grandmaster too, and I might have shut it off. I don't like kung fu movies. I think
That might be it. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, that's important. I mean, if I guess Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is one of the most highly reviewed kung fu movies, even though it's not in the top 250.
That's a good one.
Well, that one was certainly better than this one.
I know,
can
but you
say
didn't.
that.
Overall, you still were not happy.
No,
right?
not
No.
too
So
hot
you
on
just
that
don't
one.
like kung fu movies.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
All right, so let's chalk that one
So
out. We gotta write
ignore
that
my
one down.
opinion. Ignore my opinion on that. Well, I'm pretty sure this is the only kung fu movie.
No. That's no such thing. That's not true.
No.
Well, I mean, like,
It's just-
if you like kung fu, if you're listening and you like kung fu, ignore my opinion. There you go.
No, it's more like when I hang out with Denny, I know not to order, a certain type of food because you're not going to eat it.
Right.
I like all foods.
Yeah. But also, if you just
Unless
flat
it's
out
kung
don't like
fu.
horror movies, then
Or kung pao chicken? Is that the closest to kung fu?
No, we didn't say
Right.
kung pao.
Yeah, I mean that's
anyway.
something to keep in mind, I guess.
So I'd be interested. I'd be interested if you saw like Enter the Dragon, because it's very clearly not a realistic thing.
I love Jackie Chan movies. Those aren't kung fu,
so that's
but
a
they're
start.
Chinese
They're close.
action.
They contain
Do they?
kung fu.
Yeah.
Do you
for
like
sure.
John Woo films?
No, not John Woo. Not a fan of John Woo.
All right, well, we figured this one out. Denny does not like Chinese cinema,
No, just kung fu movies. I like a lot of Chinese cinema.
Yes.
which almost all of them have kung fu. No, I'm just kidding. That was my uninformed statement for the night.
That's more uninformed opinions, right?
All right, well, Denny doesn't like kung fu. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I think you should try Enter the Dragon. You should watch it. It's a
Enter the
classic,
Dragon
and-
was awesome.
I'm afraid to say that, like right now, I can say I don't know whether or not I like Bruce Lee movies, but after I watch it, I might have to say I don't like Bruce Lee movies.
There's a biopic of his that just came out that's a travesty to
Really?
him. That's
Oh,
what
really?
the daughter said, yeah.
I didn't.
like
I didn't hear
a-
about that. Was it like?
Yeah,
not-
it's 2016, so I think it's just coming
Oh,
out.
wow.
It was
Oh.
something about like they made up a story and made Bruce Lee a white guy. That's what they did.
Nice. Good job, Hollywood.
Cool.
Was it a Hollywood movie? Was it an American movie?
Yeah, it's a Hollywood movie.
God damn, that's weird. That's got to be the worst case of that
It just
yet.
goes to show you that there's some people out there, right, that have these meetings and they're like, all right, this is a biopic. And then someone's like, yeah, but we're not going to do anything like the story, right?
Yeah, we'll just put the name on it and
Like
it'll sell
right.
tickets.
Right. And there's got to be one guy that's like, yeah, but shouldn't we do something that's close? And the executive's like, nah.
It's like, let's
Nope.
do the opposite
Nope.
of close. Let's make it a white guy.
Yeah, let's get like a
Who,
kind of a
who is
white.
it that's playing Bruce?
I don't know. Let me look it
Just
back up
some-
again. Hold on. I just read this.
He's not. Is he someone who's known, or is he a?
Good question. I don't know.
Is it like Matt Damon?
No, it's no. It's just some dude. I don't know.
Come on, the dude's got range. Come on.
Does he? He's got a
premiered at the
forehead.
Toronto Film Festival.
Did this movie feel like a video game to you guys?
No.
I think the soundtrack should have been like old Nintendo music, like
Soundtrack kinda sucked.
Well, certainly.
Was that?
Soundtrack kind of sucked.
The
Yeah.
punching does.
What do you think about the sound effects though, TC?
Sound effects for like the swords and stuff were cool.
Yeah.
They were very like in your face, like bam,
Yeah.
whoa,
Shing.
Jesus Christ, yeah, shing shing. I liked
I
it.
thought they were good.
I mean, I liked the movie, so
Yeah.
I think they did a good job. Wasn't like I wasn't sitting there being like, wow, this sounds amazing. I was just it fit. Everything
Yeah.
seemed to match.
Well, the sound
They did a good
effects
job
stood
of-
out over the bad music and
for sure.
ADR.
And the music was bad, wasn't it?
It wasn't. We've heard worse recently. It wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't offensively bad.
What in The Help?
It wasn't the help. Yeah, it wasn't the freaking help.
Yeah, I don't remember the music being. I don't even being bothered by the music, but I probably had the volume pretty low because of just when you're watching a subtitled movie
You don't
like that,
need it.
and
What's
most
the
of
point?
the sound
Yeah.
is like. Psh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got tired of all the. Psh.
So Billy Magnuson plays the Bruce Lee.
That sounds
whoever
made
that
up.
is. I've never heard of him.
Billy Madison, Adam Sandler.
No, Billy Magnuson.
His sidekick is a penguin.
Yeah. So here's an interesting one. What do you think about the odds that? So turns out Hollywood did not make that Birth of the Dragon, which is
Birth of
Bruce
the
Lee's
Dragon.
movie.
Oh, that's the movie that you were
This
talking
brings
about.
up an interesting point. Are the Chinese companies making them Hollywood? So is it a Chinese company that's making the movie saying, let's make it like Hollywood would. Make some shit up. People love that
Huh.
shit.
This is what they'll like
Yeah,
over
right.
there.
Because they made the Bruce Lee one, and it's a straight up white actor, apparently. And,
Maybe they're trying to get it to play in the United States. They just
I don't
think.
know, it says he's a Hong Kong actor, but I don't know. That's weird.
I mean, I think the point of them, at least in Hollywood, their argument is that it's hard to cast non-white actors because the most famous actors are white. So if you're gonna have a big budget movie, say like the Gods of what was that movie? Not Gods of Egypt, the Ridley Scott movie that had a lot of flack behind it because it cast Christian Bale and like a couple other white actors as Egyptians. You guys hear about that one?
No.
oh yeah,
and it's because they
They
have
did-
box office
it's-
draw. I mean, that's the excuse they give anyway.
right,
so that
right,
wouldn't really
right.
work.
I guess
in China.
This guy plays. To give you an idea of how white this guy is, this guy plays Kato Kalin in the People versus O.J. Simpson,
Oh,
Jesus
man.
Christ.
the American crime story.
Jesus.
That's how white this
That
guy
is,
is.
holy Christ.
So I came up with an alternate title for this movie:
All right, what is it?
10,000 Tiny Punches.
That is apparently that's actually part. That's a true part of the style.
Just
of
some
fighting.
really fast, light little punches.
They're not light
Go, go,
though,
go,
but
go,
in
go, go.
reality, apparently, what is it called? I keep wanting to
Tiny
call it Wang
punches.
Chung, but it's
Yeah,
not.
Wing Chun or
Wang
Wing Chun?
Chun. It's
Chun.
almost Wang
Wing
Chun.
Chun?
Almost. Just no G in the
Yeah.
second word.
It's Wing
Almost.
Chun. Yeah, Wing Chun. It's Wang Chun. No, that's Sex Chun.
What?
It's a dance from the 80s?
Oh, it's a group.
disco,
Wang
isn't it?
Chung was a
Yeah,
Disco.
group.
wasn't it like, do the Wang
Yeah,
Chun?
it's
Bop,
actually
bop, bop.
got. No. Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody.
Yeah,
Wang
there you
Chung
go.
Tonight. That was like one of their songs.
Oh, God,
But he
that's
had a
terrible.
number of songs. The band. I don't know if it was a band or if it was the guy called Wang Chung, but they had a number of hits back then.
Oh. Interesting.
That's funny. Yeah, great tidbit.
Anyway, yeah,
Disco
yeah.
tidbit.
But yeah.
Disco biscuit?
Love that.
There were a couple notes on some of the fights I wanted to mention to see if the tiny punches were ridiculous. There was one scene where the guy kicks and snaps the guy's leg backwards.
Is that when he's fighting the 10 dudes?
Yes.
Yeah, because that seemed kind of brutal.
That was the only part where I was like, "Oh, no thanks."
And I still again, I think I liked the actor and I liked how he played the part. I still liked how he did that, and I liked how he showed himself going nuts with rage there. I bought it at least, and I bought his sort of cool demeanor. It almost felt like he was above it all, It's sort of it's this. It could be this great story if you just took it out of it trying to be this historical thing, and he should die when he gets shot. But he's got this guy who's got, I don't know how he got rich.
He was born rich
because he's not
Yeah,
teaching.
he was wealthy. His family was really wealthy. So this is, it could be a really cool character kind of development, right? For this guy who he's like born rich, he's just had a lot of leisure time. So, hey, at least he's industrious, and he applies himself to the study of martial arts and gets really good at it. Doesn't do anything with it, though, other than maybe have like battles, which is kind of why his wife is annoyed with him, because he's just sort of, that's his hobby. He fights people, which is, kind of dangerous and a little weird. Maybe not a great example for your son, whatever. And then he loses everything. All of it. He loses all his possessions. He loses his status as a grandmaster.
I mean, talk about a scene where you can insert a fight without having to make it up. Have it like when he's leaving his house. Have a fight scene there, There just seems like all the fight scenes and all the scenes themselves seem just chopped up and stuck together, and there's no cohesion between like the fighting and the attempted drama. Sorry to interrupt, John.
Oh no! I think you're kind of, and again, that's the thing for it's like a Western too. Like when we saw Fistful of Dollars, you're kind of, you're moving from one gun battle to the next, right?
Yep.
So that's the same with a kung fu movie, I imagine. But I think this could have made like a really good character story if outside of the historical accuracy.
I'm more interested in what really happened. Like on reading with this guy, if this movie went from where it skips over all the parts that didn't happen, like most of the movie, and then talked when he actually taught people the Wang Chun after the Civil War.
Well, he was also even in the village. He was a police officer.
Right.
He was like the equivalent.
Yeah, he
of
didn't work at a coal mine. He didn't teach a group of people how to.
No, but he did teach members of the police force. While he was
small
there.
number of people.
So
but he never had a school or anything.
Yeah. No, but I think this idea of like, I get, so you're thinking about it, I'm just thinking about like abstracting away this character of somebody living in privilege who's really good at something and having it all taken away from him and then finding meaning in teaching others. And I think that's a really cool idea, and you could have a really cool dramatic story based on that. The other way that you're going is more like, well, let's just, who is this guy really who's become, what is a Kung Fu master really like? That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I wish I knew the answer to that. I definitely don't after watching this.
Right. So I think that's, again, that would be a different direction to go with it, where you're actually just really, really, truly and honestly interested in the man himself and trying to tell his story. And the movie's doing neither one of these things,
right.
really. It's not like fully invested in like this kind of character arc that might be kind of cool. That I'm talking about, where it's an entirely different film, and it's not at all interested in telling the true story of the man either. And instead, it's just trying. It almost then comes across as like, well, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it like TC comes. It's like a Western. It's like, if we were getting, let's say, Fistful of Dollars opened and said, based on historical events, based on a true story, and they tried to place that town and everybody he killed in some kind of historical context. And the town exists and the guy exists, except nobody got killed.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd have been annoyed.
Right. I just wouldn't have noticed.
They could have gone into his, he was apparently, the actual Ip Man was an opium addict, and that's how he died from throat cancer.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
And he started, they said, so that he didn't have a school until after the Chinese Civil War ended in like 1950. And so after that ended, he moved away because he was a part of the opposite group of the communists.
Right.
So he was not wanted because he was a police officer for the Nationalist Party. But it's rumored, or it says pretty much that he started the school to support his opium habit. So I mean, there's something there. Is it more depth there than the movie, where he's just like, I am the best human being ever. I am calm
Right.
and I only fight in
And well,
defense.
I think that's based off of Bruce Lee too.
Yeah. So you're wanting more
You
of
know.
a Requiem for a Dream take on.
No, I
on
just
Ip
want
Man.
something that seems realistic. Like he makes decisions
Right, no,
throughout
I
the
know.
movie that don't make any. Like when he's poor and they need money, he goes to the cotton factory and his business partner is like, "Hey, take some money," and he's like, "No, no, no," and he's like, "I'll give you 10%," and he's like, "No, no, no," and you're like, "No, take some.
He's
You
too
need money."
principled. He's too principled.
No, but he like gave him a loan. Take some money back so you can like eat. What?
Right.
I don't know. Give it to your friends. Take the money. Give it to your starving
he's
friends.
gotta
He
go to
owed
the
him
coal
anyways.
mine.
That's what I didn't
Yeah.
know about
He's
that,
got at first. They got to show that he's a proud man. Then he's got to go to the coal mine because he's got to be able to like be recruited for fighting.
Yeah, I hated all
And,
that.
You know, they've got this is like a dramatic sequence that's being set up that just has to happen. You know, so it is a little. I didn't quite understand. I think they're just trying to show. Again, it would have been interesting if they tried to show some reasoning for that, but I don't think they did so either.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and again, it's like TC said though, if it's a kung fu movie and you're just waiting for the next action scene to come along,
Right.
and
You just want to see slow-mo wire. All right.
Slow
That's all
mo
you want.
wire. Do it.
Slow-mo wire.
Kick him 20 feet.
It's wire.
how does this TC have you seen a lot of kung fu movies?
I've seen a few, yeah.
Okay, you're the expert amongst us three.
I wouldn't call it that, but I guess amongst us
no,
three, yeah.
definitely are relatively speaking only.
Yeah, it's very similar to the other ones I've watched. The story is almost irrelevant.
How would you rank this, like as far as like good kung fu movies?
As far as the action stuff's concerned, I find it pretty good. Maybe not. I do think that Denny has a point with like the slow-mo stuff. Like there's just maybe too much of it. Like a lot of the good kung fu movies is just normal speed.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just like normal kicking, normal fighting. And they do like a lot of, I forget what the word is, but it's like ramp slow-mo where it like slows down over time, right?
Like
It's
in
not just like
300?
in slow-mo or in fast. It's like,
Yeah. And it's like you drop the beat.
Yeah.
right. And they do that a lot, which is cool, but I mean, I find that stuff to be cool in kung fu movies when there's like a bullet flying or like The Matrix where it like slows down for a reason.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not just because like the fight's
Well,
gonna
and
be.
certainly, I mean, when you bring that up too, I mean, a lot of movies that even that you do like have a lot of kung fu movie influence. You know, like a lot of modern action movies, I think have taken some of that style. Like The Matrix, definitely, right? It's like a
Yeah, for
modern
sure.
action film that borrowed heavily from kung fu movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I liked the movie, so it must have done
Sure.
somewhat decent compared to the other ones I've seen, or I wouldn't have watched
What
it.
would you rate? I mean, I don't know if you know this, but what would you recommend as like a good entry kung fu movie, or if you have an idea?
I mean, I
what-
think you
what
already
your
said it.
favorite
Crouching
one is.
Tiger is a great one for someone who
Yeah.
just doesn't care about it. As
Yeah.
far as older ones are concerned, I'm not quite sure.
Well, I liked Enter the Dragon. I'd like to see it again, actually, in talking about it. But I thought Bruce Lee had a lot of charisma as an actor.
Yeah, no, he's great, and it's 1973, so
And Chuck Norris is in it too.
Whoa.
isn't that nuts?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
And Bruce Lee fights Chuck Norris.
And
It sure does.
Chuck, if I learned anything from the internet, Chuck Norris wins.
No.
The internet is just full of lies. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Well, that's for sure. That's
I
for
don't
sure.
know. I don't remember the movie clearly. I'm pretty sure Bruce Lee beat him because Chuck Norris was the bad guy in it.
Wow. Chuck Norris playing a bad guy.
Isn't that ridiculous? With
Yeah.
that smile, come on.
With that beard, come on.
With that perfect beard, come on. Well, hey, here's a quote. Here's a little stat. I mean, Ip Man only got 85% or 84% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Only?
And, Enter
That's
the
pretty
Dragon.
high.
Enter the Dragon got 95%. So
Oh. Well, Rotten Tomatoes didn't exist like in 30 years until after that movie came out, you know, so it's probably all these people looking back being like, it's a classic.
maybe.
Which it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've
it
heard of
is.
it.
Yeah.
It is.
Definitely heard of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
certainly as Bruce Lee, as far as a kung fu actor goes, there is no argue. I don't think you could argue there's any, at least, and that might be more on the Western side, more, you know, certainly in the Western culture, he's by far the most recognized and popular as far as
Right.
kung fu actors.
Definitely.
But
And you wouldn't consider Jackie Chan a kung fu actor?
I would.
well, that's a good point. I
would.
guess you would.
He's good.
Yeah.
That guy,
And
no, he's good.
great. Oh, that dude is so likable. He's so
Yeah,
likable.
and
love
well, he's
Jackie
just
Chan.
good though too. He's good.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah,
is
he's good,
literally
but he's
skilled
just-
like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Again, but you also he's just such a likable guy that it's just fun to watch. Whatever he's doing, he's also
just, and
very
he's
much
funny. He's
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, very
I mean,
funny.
he is funny. Yeah.
And he can
but
sing
here we go
too.
talking about other movies.
Yeah,
That's
other
how
movies,
good
all right.
Ip Man was.
I
Ip
had a
Man's
couple-
great.
So did you notice in some of the fight scenes that there's a lot of blood on some people, and some fight scenes the same thing happens to that person, and they're completely dry of blood?
Oh, no, I didn't really notice that.
If you ever watch it again,
Did they
keep
like
an eye
run
out.
out of squibs or
I
something?
I don't think they had squibs in this movie.
They just
You
ran
get
out
punched
of
in the
paint.
face and blood explodes out of the other side of your head. That'd be pretty sweet.
It would be kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you ever watch it again, pay attention to that because it's like half the people getting punched in the face are dry and then the other half are just covered in blood.
Wow.
It was weird because like some fight scenes like, oh, this is like PG-13, huh? And then sometimes I was like, oh my God, that is a lot of blood. That person is dying.
That's a ton of blood.
Yeah.
He's bleeding out.
I don't
Right.
remember particularly. I don't even remember a lot of blood.
There's some
No,
people.
I
Yeah,
didn't either.
it was weird. Like some people's faces were covered in blood and some people's it was PG-13 movie.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is there. Maybe just maybe the blood guy was like a drunk and he didn't show up to work like some days of the shoot. No blood today. All right.
Yeah, no blood.
Because there's got to be
Or it
a
was
blood
too-
Blood
guy,
guy's
right?
an alky.
Yeah.
Blood guy's an alky.
Blood guy's
There's nothing we
a
can
drunk.
do. He
Hey, blood
forgot
guy.
the blood
Where's the blood
today.
guy? Oh, damn it! All right, let's go.
The director's just like, tell me he forgot the blood again. Yep.
God damn it.
If I didn't know his parents, a
Yeah.
million favors.
If his brother
I
didn't
would
do me
be
that
very
favor 3
pissed.
years ago.
Yeah, if they didn't fund this whole goddamn movie, I would have fired that guy by now. How many times now is it? 5 times he forgot the blood. Wow.
There were 2 individual fight moves that made me laugh pretty hard at it. One of them, they were both towards the end of the movie. I think they might have both been at the, one of them was like the 3 versus 1 fight where the guy gets like killed at the end for some reason, right?
Right. Yeah.
But those 3 guys, they all kick him at the exact same time. Do you remember that part?
I don't really.
Vaguely.
Would that be worse
I
to
sort of
be
would,
kicked
again.
by 3 people?
I suck at enjoying action scenes very often, so I sort of start tuning these out after a while. I just like, all right, and they fight.
Did you notice the one where Ip Man, at the very beginning of the cotton factory scene, he punches a guy right in the back of the head?
Ouch.
Does he?
Yeah, like that. That's a bad spot to punch somebody, isn't it?
That is.
It's like the worst
Unless
spot.
unless you've just got the force of the universe
I
behind
mean,
you.
you just get right up at the base of the neck, maybe. But is he like clearly like square in the back of the head?
Yeah, it was kind of on the side, like you know where you have the 2 bumps where your skull starts to like turn into your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he punches it
Sure.
like one of those bumps,
Ouch.
Bump punch.
and it was in slow
Yeah.
motion too. It was like, here it comes, back of the head. Oh, it's gotta hurt his hand.
Nope.
Nope, he's fine. He's got the.
Nope, he's good.
He punches a wood thing a lot, so maybe he's good at punching really hard things.
Yeah.
That was the only time I could make sense of why they showed him, karate chopping that wooden stick. Any insight from either of you on that?
I'm
not
assuming
really.
that's a training thing, right? That's all.
Yeah, but
I just assumed that
training.
It's weird. So I'm reading
he
some of
was
these
never hitting
critical
it
reviews.
fast, which is interesting.
No, he's not. I'm reading some of these critical reviews from critics, and it's funny how they all think it's like a myth. So like one guy says it's an exaggerated myth-making martial arts movie, but that's not what it's supposed to be, right? It's according to Denny.
Does he think Ip Man
And then
didn't
the
exist?
another one's like an explosive exercise in bare-knuckled myth biography. Is that a thing?
Myth biography.
Yeah, what
I
the
guess
hell?
What the
so.
fuck is that?
The hell is that?
I don't know.
The Bible?
It's.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that. The Bible. That's funny. That was very
He's
innocent
going to lose
too,
us a lot
Denny.
of viewers.
Yeah. Yeah, he just
or-
ate a Bible.
I don't think they're going to be listening to a
And
podcast
then
on
TC
movies.
doubles down. Yeah.
I'm not editing that shit out. No way.
That's
Always
fine.
doubling down on the offensive.
I have a couple questions about the end of the movie.
Myth biography, though. I guess that's
sorry.
a thing, right? No, I'm sorry. I think is that the genre? Is that an acceptable genre? It's a kung fu
Right,
myth
that's what I'm
biography, right?
confused now.
You make the
Gotta look
person
that up.
larger than life, and you just exaggerate everything about them to make them seem like they are all powerful.
Sounds like a
Right.
stupid genre.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just remove the biography there. Then it's just myth. Like, yeah, just do
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
Anyways, go on, Denny.
I got a couple questions on a couple things towards the end of the movie. So I was switching back and forth between, as I said before, the different dubbing subtitles, dubbing, whatever it was. And there was one part where the translator guy who used to be the cop is translating for Ip Man, and
Right.
the Japanese general says like, "If you win, I'm going to kill you." And then the translator says to Ip Man, "You better win or he'll kill you." Did you
Yeah.
remember that part?
Yep.
Was the translator trying to betray Ip Man, or is that a bad translation?
He just wasn't translating it exactly. He was just telling him.
No,
Look,
he was always trying to tell him. The translator, while we bring up that guy, I thought he also did a good job, and he had an interesting story of somebody who's just trying to sort of do what he can to survive, because he was kind of a city official, so he's put in this place of translator, and he could speak both Japanese and Chinese.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job of like showing his suffering, and that it was a difficult spot for him to be in. But anyway, so I thought often he was translating not exactly what was said, but he was trying to help. And more so towards the, I think the movie wanted us to say that he was originally okay with being a traitor, but that and by his courage showed him the way. And so he started to do more to try to help like Ip Man and the other people.
But his words then kind of give you the impression that he wants Ip Man killed.
Why?
Really?
Because he said no. Because he said you better win or he's going to kill you. That's
Right.
exactly. I mean, it's pretty much a direct translation, isn't it? He said, "What did the guy said? I'm going to kill him." Meaning, when I win, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, how is
And
that
then,
not him trying to warn him? I thought he was just trying to warn him.
Yeah, because then he's saying, "Yeah, you better win, or he's going to kill you." I mean, that seems pretty reasonable.
I'll try to explain myself. So when the Japanese general, he says, if Ip Man wins, he will kill Ip Man. So Ip Man wants to lose to live.
No. He's saying you better win because he knows full well if Ip Man wins, that guy's dead.
If Ip Man wins,
That's
guy's
what he's
dead.
saying. Yeah, right. Like he's like, there's no way he's going to beat Ip Man. And even if he does beat, and Ip Man is not going to let him live if he wins. Because Ip Man's actually going to fight this guy. Usually Ip Man's always like, oh, I'll do whatever I can. And he never hits people. Like Jin, right? He always let him win in a way because he didn't kill him.
Right.
But this fight was going to be him in the ring, straight up fighting. He's going to kill that dude. That dude doesn't have a chance. So that's why he's saying if you don't win, you're going to lose because he's going to kill you if you lose. And if you win and don't kill him, he's still going to kill you. So you better win in the sense of just destroying him. And then we're good. That's how I think he said it. But I can see
I'm not sure
why,
that makes sense to me. John, does that make sense?
I don't know. I'd have to replay the scene entirely then to kind of get at this, I think.
I understand what you're saying, TC. I'm just trying to think of.
I don't remember the specifics. All I remember was like there was a certain point.
Is it a translation issue?
Everything the translator was saying was trying to be helpful for
That's
a
what I
certain
thought
point
too.
on the movie
Until that one part, and I was very confused.
Well, I don't think. Yeah. I don't remember being confused either. And again, maybe at some point I was starting to tune out. But I just assumed he was just trying to translate to be helpful.
And he also really never translated identically.
No, he often would
just
say, he always would like try to sort of like, and he always would twist back what whenever the Chinese people said stuff, he would try to twist it in a way that made it not so bad sounding.
Right.
So a couple more things. When the banker guy is bringing back Ip Man's family, why does he do that?
Right. So, she says, so the wife persuades him by saying that she wants a chance for redemption because she never supported Ip Man in his hobby like she should have. So I think that's the argument that she makes. Again, I still don't. He's got her tied up, and he's trying to obey Ip Man's wishes to get her to safety. So I'm not sure why he allows himself to be convinced. Because again, it's more like it's just again not the greatest. It's like no, she's got to be there when Ip Man gets shot. That needs to happen. So we're going to make that happen. So that's why he gives in because it makes it more dramatic at the end.
That was the most anticlimactic ending I could have imagined, I think.
I didn't like it either, to be honest. And it was totally because they fucking knew they were going to do 2 and 3 already.
Yeah.
Well, but also just because he did live. He can't say, and he was shot and was killed.
But what's the point of having him shot if he just survives it?
Right.
Immediately
I
after
agree,
that.
Denny.
In
I'm
the
with
chest,
you, Denny.
shot in the left side of the chest, sort of where his heart is.
I couldn't see where he got hit, to be honest.
Yeah,
I remember thinking when I first saw it, why is he still alive after that? On the, I just thought there was one movie. I hadn't done any research on it when I first saw it on Netflix.
Did you feel like the movie was building to him dying as mythic as it was?
Yeah, I thought that totally would have been fine if there were no more movies. What else? Yeah, what the hell, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense, but not if they're going to keep doing more. That's like, why even shoot him? Why don't just have him win gloriously and then go to the next one?
Yeah.
Catch
Be
the
too
bullet.
In his
Catch
teeth.
the bullet, yeah. Slow mo.
He gets the, like with lots of little tiny fast punches. He like deflects the bullet.
Yes. With the wind, he moves the wind with his fists.
Yeah,
I just got like the soundtrack of Weeds in my head with the little tiny houses, the little tiny punches, and he punches back and forth.
I got a little bit of trivia here. There's no commentary track for this one, but I did watch a making of. There's some information that some people, you guys might be a little interested in, or maybe not. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Donnie Yen practiced Wang Chun for 9 months before he started filming this movie.
Wing Chun?
Wang Chun.
Yes.
Are you going to keep calling it Wang Chun on purpose, or are you doing it on accident?
Isn't it Wang Chun?
Wing Chun.
It's Wing
it's
Chun?
Wing Chun. Wang Chun is the everybody have fun. So he practiced whatever it was, the WC stuff.
WC?
Yeah, the Wing Chun.
Oh, God damn it.
Really?
God damn it.
We're really confusing each other.
So a reason why the last fight scene with the Japanese general might have been slowed down and sped up so much is that he had never done a fight scene in a movie before as an actor.
Oh, wow.
So he was like being trained day to day on the set. So that might have been a reason. They didn't say specifically. They did say he wasn't, didn't know anything.
I didn't notice him being any worse than the other fighters. I mean, they didn't stand out to me that guy was less good as far as the action scenes go.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the last thing I have here is that Donnie helped the other actors and the fight choreographer with everything during the movie, even in scenes he wasn't in. He was like kind of co-directing, choreographing. Choreographing? Is that a word?
Sure.
Choreographer. Yeah, so he was very involved. So people gave him a lot of credit for how the movie turned out.
Wow.
All right, yeah. So guys, what do you think? Top 250?
No.
Oh, so strong from TC. That's
TC,
somewhat
you're
surprising.
No, I
the
liked
most
it.
positive
I liked
out
it,
of all
but
this.
it's not top 250 worthy. It's just a kung fu
It
movie.
makes me feel good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still thought it was good, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at this question, though. I'll mind you that the track record for me on this question is already poor anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, I think for what are we like 1 or 2-0 at this point? I think again we'll recap this at the 50 mark.
And I think we mostly agree on most of them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think what
guess.
ends up happening is a little bit of Stockholm syndrome. It's like,
Yeah,
that's probably not right.
get
But you know what I'm
ganged up
saying?
on.
Like it's
Yeah,
right.
the same,
You're
the
like,
same
all
thing I
right.
was experiencing during Beauty and the Beast. The same thing.
Yeah, right. So you're like, you know what? Fuck it. It's too hard to push back. Yeah, it sucked, Denny. It sucked. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
yes, I win.
That's never been my problem.
So, guys, do you have anything else with this movie?
Not
Any other
particularly.
thoughts, inputs?
Well, now I know not to offer kung fu to Denny.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe kung pao, but
Kung
not
pao.
kung fu. So what do we got coming up next, fellas?
We
Yeah.
have the 2015, the most recent movie, I think, on the list, or at least tied. 2015, The Martian.
Oh,
It was nominated for Best
interesting.
Picture. Has Matt Damon in it. It's Ridley Scott movie. Has everyone seen this one?
Yeah,
I have seen
I
this one,
saw
yes.
it. I think I drank too much and passed out halfway through it, though. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the second half.
Nice.
Sober.
Good old Matt Damon, always reliable.
Isn't he, though?
Yeah.
He's just so good.
He's a good guy. I think he's a nice guy, too,
he's a
actually.
good egg.
All right,
He's
well,
a good egg.
we'll talk about that next week. We can just spread our love for Matt Damon over the whole episode
I
next
love
week.
Mr. Matty. He's such a
It's
good man.
me, you, and John are like, when Damon and Affleck do the Brady thing. That's me and you, Denny.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm
Greatest
not- I'm
actor
not-
in the world. It's Matt Damon. He's he's texting me right now. What's he saying? Something about Manchester by the Sea. I don't know.
Oh, he was in that, too. He came out of a box halfway
Yeah.
through.
All right. Well, I can't wait for the next one. That's gonna be fun.
All right. So, check us out on mission250filmcast.com. We have the list there. It's frozen in time. We're going backwards. You can follow us along. Email us at mission250filmcast@gmail.com. Rate and subscribe to us on iTunes. And I think that is it. Thank you for listening.
That's it. Yeah.
Till next week.
All right.
Yes.
Next week, guys.
And good night.
night.